Good luck, runners. Good luck, chat. Good luck, Punk.
Good luck, Sephi.
So how to get this started? I mean, basic gameplay. You're pretty much powerless. Well, except for the power suit. But you just have to find your way and, through the series base station to locate the baby Metroid that was supposedly the last one in captivity and fend off Ridley.
Yeah, apparently both runners decided to skip the intro cutscene. Very unfortunate, because now we have like literally zero clue what's going on in this game.
Yeah, well, I mean, anyone who watches this tournament for the plot is obviously lying, We're all here. All right, here's the actual point of this tournament, all right? These races. The goal, the primary goal, is to get Samus naked as fast as possible. That is actually the goal. I mean, that's what the developers intended.
Right. I mean, you gotta imagine, this game was developed before the times where you could just go into the internet and watch like basically everything you could see. Like, this game is older than that. So, video game developers had to think of like a fast option to see a naked woman. And that's what they came up with, Super Metroid.
I'm glad I could resort to Super Metroid to get that instant gratification,
Right.
All in less than 3 hours. Well, they were pretty lenient with how fast you could beat this game.
Wonder if DO4 actually made something like a little speedrun contest when they were developing this to see like what time they could get.
I can't remember what. It might have been a Nintendo Power that I used to have, but I think there used to be actual like leaderboards. People would submit their times to Nintendo Power for like, and the only leaderboard that I really saw was like Super Mario 64. So this was way past Super Metroid.
Yeah, Nintendo Power actually had a lot of support for like early speedrunning of this game. It was pretty good. They had like splits in one Nintendo Power magazine at these leaderboards. It was pretty good fan service actually for that time. So now Enmet collecting the first out of 101 item fanfares that we're gonna hear about the run. Also, Enmet apparently forgetting to split.
And accidentally mockballing all across there. That room, construction zone, is a pretty weird one because some runners opt to do a down back method, which is an interesting game mechanic where if you are facing, so if you happen to just fall off a ledge, this can't be done like you being like jumping and being in midair. Like you have to either fall off or then unmorph midair, whatever. And you hold down on the D-pad, and then the opposite direction of where you're trying to go, you actually end up going the direction you're facing.
Yeah, downbacking a pretty useful technique to optimize your movement in some rooms, but not a thing that is like super required to get like low times and a lot of really time-saving tricks. Now we're at the climb. KRISTOPHOLO preferring to wall jump up the right wall while Enmet is going up the left wall. Actually, for KRISTOPHOLO, this is the room where he personally resets in most according to his own. Having a little bit of problems here, so yeah, this is the room KRISTOPHOLO personally likes the least, so still pretty solid for that.
Yeah, I would say that Okay, so I would say that the first 5 minutes of the game is just like that book that you're supposed to read for school. You know, that dry read,
Yeah.
and like you have to get through it in order to pass your class. And if you don't want to, then you just don't speak in this game. But um, it's pretty much just because there's no power ups. All you have is missiles and morph.
Yeah, this is pretty much the only linear point of this game. Like, as soon as you get, like, I don't know, maybe the early supers, from that point on you have so many options, all the categories, like, go apart from each other, and there's a lot of diversity, but this part is just the same in basically any category, and we've all seen it a lot of times. Both Enmet and KRISTOPHOLO making really good work here on Bomb to Rezo.
Enmet with a nice Alcatraz, pretty much wall jumping from the right hand side. I think I've seen 2Cat do that. It's really preference on how you choose to set this up. Also, it saves a huge amount of time, I would say, for a room like that. I think what Enmet is doing. What was Enmet doing? I think he was
He
trying
was
to
going
farm.
for farming for more missiles, so since he needs 5 missiles at all to open the pink door for the early supers, we saw a few runners in this tournament doing that in case there's a low missile count at this point.
I actually
So
just
was-
remembered. Whoa. Oh, okay. Yeah, he's gonna go for this strat. Look.
Yeah,
So what he's doing here is
yeah,
he's actually going to farm those missiles, which is I've seen it he showed me in a test strat. He's gonna open this door, collect these items first. That way he doesn't really have to backtrack from the super missiles that KRISTOPHOLO is collecting.
Still,
First right
KRISTOPHOLO
now.
with 2 excellent damage boosts here, making that actually pretty quick here.
Yep.
So yeah,
And
that's...
of course, ideally this would be faster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it kind of depends on execution and preference. Like, this is pretty much what makes 100% so much fun in the tournament and in all these races, is that there's so much customization you can do in your route, not only like in big route differences, but also in like minor room strats, which only differ like a few seconds, sometimes like half a second. That makes for some pretty interesting races.
Moreover, the fact that this strat is interesting is because it doesn't force, even though really nice reverse mock buff for Chris,
Yep.
it doesn't force that. So you can see that
It is definitely
design.
It is definitely one of the hardest mock balls, and that pretty early on in the game, but looks pretty cool.
So yeah, honestly, just already off to a really good start this race is.
And the runners are actually pretty close. Only about a few seconds difference. Maybe 2 actually. That's pretty close so far. Also, apparently, a Dapaga is now following.
What a bro. I've heard he's a bro.
I've heard the same. Goldhorn is getting the Green Hill mock ball. Making Green Hill pretty weird room to execute fast in kind of both directions, but pretty much the optimal strat you can do here.
Now, unless either racer wants to like pull a fast one and end up going new route, I'm certain that both of these are gonna go old route.
Yeah. We've actually seen some diversity also in new route. We saw, I think Zeus was it who actually went for early power bombs, which saves you to visit crates there twice. Obviously requires you to go Red Tower early. Makes up for kind of a difference, but so far no deviations in the route of the two runners.
Yeah, essentially that was like pretty much the standard route, which I've heard was said to be only frames slower.
Yeah.
Like it's really minimal. Swaggy entrance into Kraid's lair by Enmet. Of course, KRISTOPHOLO following suit. Power suit, that is. Actually, various suit to collect various suit.
So now, Enmet coming up just as well as KRISTOPHOLO on the first major boss of this game, Kraid. Pretty much one of the easiest, like, no really big RNG there, apart from, like, lag frames you can get. Ideally, the runners aim for shooting 2 missiles first, and then 3 supers into his mouth, and basically kill him before he's even able to get into phase 2. Looks like both players are going for the missile setup. Yep, Enmet nailing it perfectly. Let's see how KRISTOPHOLO makes it. Actually, KRISTOPHOLO going for a charge beam setup, which requires 4 supers, and locks Kraid's left hand into a position, but you need to shoot these supers a little bit more frequently. The super method with charge is actually a little bit slower. Some people say it's easier, but again, it's all about preference and how well you're at executing one or the other.
Yeah, you can shoot a charge shot just to keep that arm from interfering and blocking the super missiles. I saw Goop Q actually finish off Kraid with only missiles. Getting the Kraid quick will essentially just getting, I think he shot 12 missiles in total.
Interesting. So both runners deciding to pick up these this one E-tank early. Again, there's another option to get it like late as soon as you get the Kraid missiles, as soon as you have power bombs. Kind of depends on your energy management and where you kind of want that power bomb, that E-tank I mean, but that's pretty much optimal. And also, both runners getting the mock ball out of crates there. That's pretty precise timing for that jump out of there.
Yeah, aptly named the mouth ball out of that. And then both players entering Norfair down the business center. I know that KRISTOPHOLO is dedicating this race to his cats. Meanwhile, Enmet for sure is dedicating this run to all of Star Command. So buzz up. There's a lot on the line going on for these two racers, to be honest.
Yeah, basically it's pretty much deciding about the life and destiny of the entire universe. If KRISTOPHOLO wins, we're going to probably live in a world where animals will be murdered brutally every time. For Enmet, it's kind of the same, but there's still a little bit more hope, so yeah. Pretty unfortunate stuff, but we'll see how this race ends.
Let's face it, there's no hope. No, they both hate the animals.
Yeah,
It's
right.
just it really is down to that, so...
Yeah, we should probably hope that both runners are gonna die, but yeah, that's just my opinion.
Okay, so save the animals but kill the players?
Right?
Okay, got it, I see.
Exclamation and genitive for GDQ.
Exactly, there you go, donate for that. Donate for that now. Just donate to Speed Gaming, and then we can just make something happen. We'll just cut off their streams. I'm just kidding, we love these two racers. Really beloved runners of the Super Metroid community. Oh, and just important to note that these two racers also are the top 2 seeds of their group. So, It's really good.
Yeah, this is a pretty good race. We've been looking for it a long time. Oh yeah, both runners now coming up on Speed Booster, allowing for a few of the most ridiculous strats that you will only see on 100%. Some of my favorite strats.
After their wave beam collection, by the way, hey guys, they are gonna head down to pay a visit to Crocomire, and we're gonna pray for some good RNG there, hoping that they give the racers no swipes actually.
Yeah, Crocomire RNG can sometimes be just as annoying as Phantoon RNG. You bypass that by doing Nura, where you just one-shot kill him with Charged Plasma, but unfortunately requires some pretty hard strats, so most runners are just gonna have to deal with that.
The Crocomire isn't like any other boss fight really, or mini boss fight for that matter. You don't really do damage to it. It's just pretty much a sumo wrestling match, you could say. He's the Red E Honda of Norfair, and you're Metroid. Oh, good wall jump off the belly, setting up the RNG in his favor.
Actually, Enmet having some pretty good RNG in this fight. Only 1 or 2 swipes, I think. It's pretty decent for like a 50-50 chance here. Considering that both runners are going for a charge shot method, there are other methods with like kind of doppling missiles.
I think KRISTOPHOLO got no swipes.
Yeah, that is some pretty insane RNG for both runners.
Yeah, that's the ideal Crocomire fight.
Yeah, but usually that doesn't really happen. So yeah, some really good RNG. Nice to see that both runners are kind of set up on that. Also, both runners are setting up for a wraparound shot by shooting at the right side of that room in a certain angle in that little corner. You basically open the door on the left side of the room, allowing for a nice shine spark, saving you quite some time going to the first power bombs, and Enmet actually got that shine spark pretty nice.
And the reason the wraparound shot works is because there's a duplicate room to the right side of the room that the player is in. Exactly the same with doors and everything. And if you shoot, of course, you need wave beam for that, because wave beam is the beam that allows the beam to go through the walls. So if you aim and shoot at the left door on the duplicate room, it has the same pointers as the room that you're in, which allows that door to open.
Yeah, which is why wraparound shot only working for doors on the left. Also, in most wraparound shots, there's some movement involved, like the momentum of the player, and also the duplicated room is, I believe, 1 tile higher than the actual room. It's like kind of shifted.
Yeah, that's correct.
So, that is like really weird stuff happening there with the wraparound shot, but it just works. And it makes for some pretty cool strats like the Gauntlet Spark that we're going to see later on. Also, Enmet going for a grapple strat here. Saving a lot of time getting these missiles. KRISTOPHOLO doing the same, hopefully, nailing it as well. That's going to save both runners a lot of time here over like doing a jump or a shine spark up to these missiles. Actually, that's the intended strat, so it's like the one time that intended strat is actually the fastest.
And the hardest,
Yeah,
the
by
Indiana
far.
Jones strat. Yep. I think running through that room is also pretty fast. And yeah, deboosting is also just a speed runner strat. Speed boosting, it depends really on what you can I mean, you can deboost off of anything that really can damage or will give Samus that damaged animation. For enemies, I believe it's like a three frame window, maybe even a
Yep.
5 frame window, somewhere around there. But for spikes, it's a little bit more lenient. You're given a 10 frame window. Some runners like to see it as a deboost, or excuse me, a wall jump. So essentially, you're facing one side, and by holding jump and then pressing the opposite direction in the right frames, you can go ahead and get that deboost going.
Yeah, it's pretty lenient. Also, because of the spikes are not moving, like you gotta adapt your damage boost to the enemy movement at some point if you're actually doing it off from an enemy. But with the spikes, since they're not really moving, it's actually pretty easy to nail these, but can save you a lot of time. So now, Enmet probably going for the Alpha Spark here.
Yeah, the second Alpha Spark.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Alpha Spark originally because it's the first Shine Spark in any percent, but that doesn't really apply to 100%. Yeah, looks pretty. Yeah, got it. Nicely done. Also notice that both players are skipping Ice Beam, which is like pretty standard even for not that talented runners, but just proves that people are able to do this red tower climb here, which can be really challenging if you're not that consistent with wall jumping. Saves way more time in 100% than in 80%, but still really nice. Also, Enmet with that red tower climb, doing that shot there, that's actually a really hard strat because you got to delay your wall jump a little bit, and then like being really precise. Actually, that's really hard wall jump, nailing that shot. That's two components that are really hard to nail. Most people are probably going to go for the hero shot that KRISTOPHOLO is just setting up. Fortunately, being a bit too far to the left there, so it's not able to quite open it. Yeah, but nailing it like the second try.
Yeah, you want to be careful. That room is called Hellway Highway, with all the Samus Eaters, and you want to be careful to not ever get munched on by the top Samus Eaters because they actually take double the time than getting nommed on by the ones at the bottom.
Interesting.
I guess it's also a little bit doing old route. It's a little bit safer to do the Alpha Spark because you have an extra E tank for Fantoon, pretty much for all of Wreck Ship up to the Wreck Ship E tank. But
Yeah.
That's actually just the scariest part of the category, outside of any potential soft locks or crashes.
Yeah. Just the entire way to wreck ship, inside wreck ship, and like from wreck ship to your ship. It's like pretty much the only part that requires actual health management in this run. It's only because it's the only part though doesn't mean that it's easy. Like it's actually can be really tricky to conserve your energy well enough through to certain points. Hopefully, like both runners' energy seem pretty solid so far. It's kind of gonna depend on drop RNG for Fantoon and how they deal one of the worst rooms in 100%, which is called the Spike Room of Death. But hopefully, both runners are gonna do well here.
Oh, also, an important reason why old route runners skip Ice Beam is because they don't have to unequip it for after they collect it, essentially. Because if you have a preferred method of X factoring um, Fantoon, or of course Spot Wound, you don't really have to go through the hassle of unequipping, even though you still have to unequip Spazer, but it's just those little frames that you can save, by not having to go over and unequip Ice as well.
Yeah. Then again, we have some interesting shine spark there from KRISTOPHOLO going. I don't usually see people going for a diagonal shine spark there. Usually they just goop spark, but diagonal is interesting. But yeah, for Fantoon, there are also some pretty noob strats. Like, I personally prefer a pause buffer strat, which sets him up pretty well. Yeah, there's kind of some stuff that you have to think about, like the amount of menuing 100% can really differ from route to route, and depending on your strats. I don't know, do you know how much time like one pausing and unpausing saves with like some fast menuing?
Pausing might save. To be honest, like I know pausing the game takes 2 seconds and then unpausing takes another 2 seconds, so it really be quite minimal. But I mean, they count if you're aiming for world record.
Enmet starting off with slow here, still getting in 4 missiles and a nice X Factor here. Continuing with the mid and finishing off in 2 rounds. Really good fight here from Enmet. Not the best RNG, still getting that in the 2 round. Even though with slow patterns, it's still a lot better than taking multiple rounds.
But he's not out of the wreck ship yet.
Yeah, now comes the really intense part of health management and the spiky room of death. So KRISTOPHOLO also starting off with his slow. Only X Factor method. Which means that he has to go get 2 full X Factors in over Emmet's method, where you can finish off with super. And again, KRISTOPHOLO noticing that Fantoon is a dick and getting another slow here. Also, unfortunately missing 2 particles here on Fantoon, so basically only another super will finish Fantoon off, since 2 particles deal 1 super damage. They probably go for only missiles here as well. Yeah, no, finishing off with super. Putting him a little bit behind Enmet here, who had a way better fight, but there's still a lot happen, especially since Enmet is now coming up on the hardest room 100% in my opinion.
The very reason why the wrecked ship is called the Get Wrecked ship.
Yeah.
And also another reason why Fantoon can be so annoying with its movement is because the flames that it shoots out of that it cries out of its eyes. These eyes are crying. These eyes have seen a lot of love, but they're never gonna see another love like they have with you. That's not the point. That's not what I was gonna say. What I was gonna say is actually that the reason that they're so annoying, the flames, is because they can mess up if you get damaged a certain way and Samus moves a certain direction as after you shoot Fantoon, it's gonna manipulate its movement to kind of somewhat retract a little and then follow wherever Samus is going. So it really depends on how you get hit, if you get hit, and what have you.
Twitch chat loves some musical in the commentary. Okay. Enmet having a little bit of trouble, actually having a lot of trouble with the reverse spiky room of death here. Getting
the
hit.
spiky room of life.
Yeah. Oh right, yeah. Reverse spiky room of death is obviously the spiky room of life.
Yeah. And they had a nice door transition high five. But anyway, go on.
It's just, it's pretty easy to KO through these spiky platforms, doing like 100 damage, and basically the thing is, as soon as you arrive at your ship, you want to have about 300 energy, and Enmet, even though he got a really nice blue keep strat here, is already pretty close to that 300, and it's gonna be pretty hard for him to conserve that much energy if he's even able to do it at all. And so that may mean a ship refill him from here. See how KRISTOPHOLO does reverse spiky room of death. May actually save him a lot of time later on if he does it well. Trying desperately to go for that damage boost there.
Well, it looks like I got booed off the stage and I'm gonna have to depart now. So I entrust all of chat onto Ponk. Don't worry, chat. You're in good hands. I promise. I will talk to you guys later. Enjoy the race. Punk
It
luck.
was a enjoyment to commentate this first 30 minutes with you, Steffi. Thanks for the music, and yeah, you take care.
Have fun later.
Bye. Okay, so apparently chat is in my control now. So let's talk about the race. KRISTOPHOLO here, going for a really nice attic cleanup with Shine Spark. Attic, one of the few rooms that you have like a hell lot of optimization strategies. There are so many strats you can use here to clear up the entire attic. If you don't know a lot of good strats, it's also one of really health draining room. But both runners did here actually a pretty good job. Enmet with the blue key, KRISTOPHOLO with that Shine Spark. Also KRISTOPHOLO doing a really good job at clipping through these work robots who sometimes can be real actual bitches and won't let you through, which takes a lot of time. It's one of the rooms where you actually need to get a little bit of luck to get there through the fastest way. Pretty hard to optimize, but yeah. Now Enmet is in bowling room, having time to check his Tinder, doing some stuff, maybe uploading some nudes, who knows. If you have Enmet's Tinder, you should probably check that out right now, since he's almost through again. So at this point, Enmet not, yeah, actually lost a lot of time here in the red ship. Both runners a little bit behind their PB, still, for a race, especially a race that both runners were anticipating really high. Pretty solid pace so far. Okay, so Enmet going for an extra jump there to conserve some energy. Again, Enmet now done with the wrecked ship cleanup, apart from the swimsuit, which is like the original reason that you actually go there. Still, only having 129 energy at this point, plus reserves, meaning that he will have to do a health refill at the ship to do the gauntlet spark, which we all assume he does, because it's a pretty cool strat. Now, KRISTOPHOLO also in bowling room means that you should check his Tinder as well, because he's probably gonna upload some nudes or some cat pictures. Probably both, maybe even at the same time. We don't know yet. We should check that out. Also, KRISTOPHOLO's health here looking way better than Enmet's health at this point, having 365 before doing the wall jump, now 327 plus reserves, so as long as he doesn't do some kind of weird screw up with the spikes, he will probably save the refill at the ship, which Enmet does right now, which will save KRISTOPHOLO a very good portion of time here actually, so race getting closer again. Also, just mentioning, KRISTOPHOLO is currently about 38 seconds behind his PB, while at Gravity, Enmet is about 28 seconds behind his PB, which will probably be a lot more just because of the fact that he had to do the refill at the ship. Also, again, just mentioning that KRISTOPHOLO's PB is about 4 minutes slower than Enmet's PB. For that, actually, it's still a pretty tight race. Everything can happen. We've yet to see a few very technical parts of the game. Actually, Brinster cleanup is going to be pretty technical. Then, of course, we have the famous soft locks coming up very late in the game, so that's everything that you need to consider. So Enmet, unfortunately, not doing the Sex Master Shine Spark. Really difficult Shine Spark where you do short tap, break the blocks on the floor in front of the chosen statue with the E-Tank. and then Shine Spark all the way for the second half of the gauntlet. Enmet, a little bit overestimating his quick drop ability there, almost fell to one side of crumble blocks. Did save it in the end, but that was pretty close there. So now, KRISTOPHOLO also setting up for the Gauntlet Spark, basically consisting of two parts, a wraparound shot and a Shine Spark that you can see here. The wraparound shot, pretty difficult to pull off, way more difficult than the wraparound shot in... Oh no. Not having enough energy here, getting grabbed by the Yapping Moss. Okay, he is fine. Got through, that was pretty intense. We saw some runners dying there already. Okay, so the wraparound shot for the gauntlet, way more precise because in Crocodile's room you can just pretty much set up yourself with the right side of the room and angle up. This here is actually pretty pixel perfect and it's just pretty much out in the wild, so getting that set up can be kind of a little bit annoying if you don't get it really quickly. So yeah, both runners in the end getting the Gauntlet Spark. None of the runners fell down to one side of these Gauntlet missiles here, so while Enmet is already at it, KRISTOPHOLO is going to soon be heading to Green Brainstorm, finishing up the cleanup there. Interestingly enough, a lot of E-tanks actually in Green Brainstorm, so energy-wise, they are pretty much fine from now. The energy management part of this run is pretty much done, and from now on they can pretty much just rush through the bosses, don't need to worry about dying anymore a lot, so... Enmet passing wonderful animals here, the Edacoons. Green, fluffy, they know how to wall jump. If you get the chance to save their lives, you should definitely do that. Actually, funny thing, for those of you who didn't know yet, which I'm sure the most of you already do, the little theme song they sing is actually the Item Fanfare song, so that's why you hear the Item Fanfare 101 times, even though you only have 100 items in the game. KRISTOPHOLO also going for a pretty cool Shine Spark here with the Power Bomb opening a door on the right as well. Sorry, that's Enmet, not KRISTOPHOLO. KRISTOPHOLO is just heading to the Edacoons as well. Enmet is probably go for a quick drop method here in this room, allowing him... actually, never mind, he's not. There is a quick drop method you can do in that room above the Power Bomb, where you can turn around as soon as you hit the crumble block there, which basically increases Samus' downward momentum. Which basically follows that you can get down there a lot quicker, get the Power Bomb, and then you can actually jump up there again before the crumble block respawns, which means that you can get through the room a lot faster. But that's pretty precise, somewhat hard to do. So if you're not comfortable with it, it's way faster to just do what Enmet did and just lay a power bomb immediately and just finish the room off the intended way just pretty fast. Fortunately, KRISTOPHOLO group sparking there still decides to use Grapple Beam. Really cool item. Sometimes runners seem to forget that they have it, which actually makes up for some pretty cool and fast backup strats if you miss some room strats. Well, let's see if KRISTOPHOLO goes for the quick drop strat here. Yep, getting the quick drop. We'll see if he's able to jump back up in time, because that jump is pretty precise, pretty fast, and the wall jumps also needs to be pretty fast. Almost makes it. Getting kind of stuck in the crumble block there, but still really nice that he went for it and tried it. So now we see KRISTOPHOLO on something that Enmet did before. But you cannot see that there is a super block in the wall that can only be opened with the super missile, obviously. It's kind of the backdoor to the Spore Spawn missiles for the Spore Spawn supers, which are like the intended first super missiles. Both runners are doing the wise decision to skip this really slow and really annoying mini boss here by getting those supers with that trick here. Has to do a little bit with camera scrolling. It's kind of technical. There are multiple setups for it. It just saves a lot of time doing it. It's probably one of the most time-saving tricks in the entire run. So Enmet now almost done with the pink and green brimstone cleanup. In case you're wondering why Enmet lay a power bomb up there at the top of Green Hill, there's actually a yellow door up there that you will see at the very end of the run, and that will be opened if you lay the power bomb up there. So it's like a minor time save that pays off really late in the run. Enmet going for Blockbuster there. A really precise trick where you angle down, run over there, shoot, and then like on the last frame you jump. Allows you to get a speedball into a tower, crushing through these blocks immediately. Really precise, saves a decent amount of time, but it's kind of hard to nail. And now for Enmet, we have upcoming Meridia. Actually, first item of Meridia, one of the hardest to get the optimal way. This is a room called Meridia Main Street. At the very top, there is a missile pack behind 2 speed blocks. The intended way of doing that is going through another room, getting a Shine Spark, getting into this room, and then Shine Sparking all the way up there where Enmet is right now. Really confusing item to get for casuals, actually. Not the best hidden, but still really confusing. Enmet doing it kind of slowly, getting all the way up there to do the Shine Spark, which only requires like a 1 tap, if I'm correct. There is a much faster way where you do a start of 3 tap all the way at the bottom of Main Street. Saves a lot of time, but it's incredible hard to nail that sort of 3 tap. Yeah. KRISTOPHOLO, unfortunately, also not nailing Blockbuster. Well, I mean, it's still a really hard trick, but it's always nice to see people getting it because it's such a cool trick. But meanwhile, on Emmet's screen, we can see another lovely animal, Mama Turtle with her children. Many people sometimes wonder if Mama Turtle dies during the explosion. I have a theory there that Mama Turtle is actually a spaceship, just the way she's shaped. And she's probably just gonna escape with her children as her own spaceship, flying into the opposite direction of the camera, so that the player unfortunately cannot see that. So KRISTOPHOLO also deciding to climb up there to do the Shine Spark, actually nailing the Shine Spark first try over Enmet, who had to do that twice, which wasted a little bit of time there actually, so that's gonna give KRISTOPHOLO a little bit of space here in the race again, even though that Enmet is still pretty far ahead at this point. But we'll see. We have some pretty technical stuff upcoming for Enmet here with a mini boss and a major boss. Also some pretty movement intense item collection. For now, say bye-bye to Mama Turtle. We're not going to see her again. Fortunately, Enmet, KRISTOPHOLO, missing the quick morph there into the crab hole for the crab supers. Can be kind of tricky to nail that, since like the more downward momentum you gain, the faster you'll move, and you'll actually not be able to get into the hole even if you're holding left, since your movement is too fast. And then almost nailing a strat called the beach ball there. Let's see if KRISTOPHOLO nails it later on, so I can talk a little bit more about that. For Enmet, however, we have upcoming a mini boss called Boss Hoon, who is known for his magic hitbox. Ideally, you get a 1 round starting off with an X Factor. However, missing the X Factor will be pretty punishing since the particles flying around will block your beam. Also one of the few mini-bosses that use an audio cue for the setup. There you saw it. Enmet unfortunately missing a few particles, not being able to deal full damage, and meaning that he could not shoot supers right away. Still, a really fast 2-round here from Enmet. Not ideal, but pretty close to the ideal. So that's pretty good fight here for Enmet. Not really any time lost here. Interestingly enough, on Enmet's side here, charging the Shine Spark before entering the room, not making it possible to go for the full halfie here in Colosseum, setting up for a really nice halfie though. Pretty confident about that setup. So now we'll see if KRISTOPHOLO nails the beach ball. Unfortunately not. So this entire area is just called the beach, and there's a nice little set of free tab that you can do to get like speed mock ball out of that. Pretty fast threat again. Pretty hard to nail, not really a big time save, but pretty cool. So while KRISTOPHOLO is on its way to Pot's room, we have Enmet on the third major boss here, Dragon. There are a lot of strats that you can do in 100% to kill Dragon. I want to say 3 actually. You can just pump ammo into her belly, like kind of most casuals do. Then there is a strat which Enmet does, which contains of charging Axe Selector and then Shine Sparking into her. Really nice opening, by the way. A little bit low though. The Shine Spark was pretty much optimal, but the X Factor was pretty much optimal, but not the Shine Spark. And you can also grill the shrimp with a grapple beam and one of these electric plates. Nice platoon fight here from KRISTOPHOLO. Enmet having a little bit of a problem connecting those Shine Sparks. Oh, yeah. Finishing off Dragon now with the Shine Spark. Most likely giving you blue suit, like you can see on Enmet here. Blue suit is basically a constant state of, like blue frames, like what you get if you have enough running speed for a Shine Spark. There's a few downsides of blue suit. One of it is that you cannot dash. The big advantage is that it's basically one free Shine Spark. Nice damage boost here from Enmet, allowing him to get through this room a little bit more quicker. And basically what you want this blue suit for is a trick called the reverse full halfie, which basically works like a full halfie but reversed. Yeah, there you can see it. A little bit health draining if you're like new and not really confident about your health management in Meridia. Maybe a little bit tricky, but saving you a lot of time doing that reversed halfie, and it looks pretty cool. Yeah, also KRISTOPHOLO unfortunately lagging a little bit here. Hopefully will be better, but now also getting up on Dragon here. We'll be seeing what method he's going for. Since he's practicing some Shine Sparks here, I assume he'll also go for an X Factor method. Unfortunately missing some of those practice Shine Sparks, so hopefully he'll be fine. Also not selecting Power Bombs it seems, so he's not going for an X Factor opening, but only a raw Shine Spark opening. And since he's collecting Grapple Beam right now, yep, he's going to grill the shrimp. My personally favorite way of killing Dragon. Really nice strat, just showing off that you can basically kill every enemy or almost every enemy in Meridia with only one shot grapple, including the major boss. And I mean, at the end you get deep fried shrimp, so there's no downside about that. Of course, you don't get blue suit. You could get Spike Suit actually, which is a really dumb strat, which gives you a free Shine Spark with 2 frame perfect inputs. Pretty hard. Most like low to high mid tier runners will not go for it. You'll only see like the really high tier runners go for that, but pretty insane trick. Costs saves like a large amount of time, but still pretty slick strat. But for new runners and intermediate runners, the grapple kill for Dragon definitely a really good option. Also, Enmet, again, having an option to check his Tinder. Maybe you should check his account right now. Maybe he's uploading some nudes, you never know. Um, but this is our beloved Jackal, the community bot of the speedrun community. Unfortunately, he has one downside. He's incredible slow, which is why some runners decide to kill him, like I do, at some point. Let's see if one of the runners will actually kill Jackal. Yeah, he is really slow, but he's guarding a really cool item called the Spling Ball with L. Makes up for some really cool strats in 100%, most of them pretty hard, but it basically just adds up to your options of moving fast in this game. So now, on the way back, Enmet not killing Jackal. Kind of unfortunate decision here, but deciding to rather save the frames, but then killing this machine here. Meantime, KRISTOPHOLO collecting the Aqueduct missiles and supers. I don't think that Enmet already got those. It doesn't really make a difference if you collect the Aqueduct missile and super later or earlier. There is a pretty hard strat which requires Spring Ball and a speed keep, which is like really hard, which is like why the optimal strat is doing it after collecting Spring Ball. But if you are not comfortable with doing that, it doesn't really matter if you get it earlier or later. Only thing is like your health count, which kind of depends on when you got the bottom E-tank, but it's kind of what you like to do and what you don't like to do. Now Enmet also going for one of my personally favorite items in this game, the Plasma Beam, allowing him to go for a ridiculous amount of damage here. Plasma Beam making quick work out of most enemies in this game. Also making the shot looking pretty cool. Kind of green, I really like that. So yeah, for those of you who wonder about stuff like old route and new route, as you can see on KRISTOPHOLO's screen right now, he was destroying a grappled crumble block there, and then going to Spring Ball. There's what we call the new route, which is basically an older route, where you get Grapple Beam later with Crocomire at the very end, which forces you to do an Ice Clip, skipping that Grapple Crumble block. Pretty hard, only like really top tier runners do it. It saves about 20 seconds if you get every strat that concludes out of that route, but most people will go for that route, just doing it the intended way. And now KRISTOPHOLO also having another option to check his Tinder. And for those of you who are wondering why I'm making this joke about checking Tinder again, KRISTOPHOLO also did a lot of commentary. Likes to check his Tinder in those rooms. Actually, his split for Spring Ball is called Check Tinder Again. So yeah, he really likes to do that stuff. So yeah, right now Enmet is ahead by quite a bit actually. About I actually don't know how, like I cannot really say how far he's ahead since both runners collected like a different amount of items. Enmet going for a really nice strat here, which I was talking about earlier, with which requires Spring Ball and Blue Keep. Unfortunately, doesn't nail it. It's pretty hard, but still nice to see Ent going for it. But Enmet is still, like, I want to say about 1.5 minutes ahead, maybe probably more than 2 actually. But we'll see later, since like the amount of items they collected in Meridia is kind of different. Anyways, just wanted to mention that KRISTOPHOLO actually saved quite some time here on the blue, on the Spring Ball split. Now only 40 seconds behind his PB. Considering that he's that far into the run, about 54 minutes around, and that it's actually racing conditions in the tournament, that's a pretty solid pace here for him right now. In comparison to that, Enmet is now way more than 1 minute behind his PB, so just according to the PBs, KRISTOPHOLO is actually doing a better performance here, just to his personal best, which is really nice to see. So KRISTOPHOLO now also collecting Plasma Beam, increasing his damage by quite a lot. Now, Enmet actually done with the Meridia cleanup. Actually one of the most branching areas when it comes to 100% route, since you're pretty much going like back and forth a little bit here, Meridia. Really technical part. So now for him upcoming is first the Crate Slayer missiles, which he needs to collect now since he didn't go for early power bombs. Also shooting quite a lot of supers there. Apparently doesn't need them. Well, we have quite a lot in 100% obviously. Yeah, now for KRISTOPHOLO we have the Cactech room. If you optimize that room pretty well, it can be really fast. KRISTOPHOLO actually likes that room a lot just because it looks really good if you get it pretty fast. It's kind of hard to nail all the jumps and damage boosts. Yeah, there's just a lot of movement optimization here, especially in Meridia. It's pretty technical, a lot of movement optimization, some pretty hard speed keep strats. So if you're not into that, like stutter free tapping and stuff, keep, this is not the area that you want to optimize first. By far not. Yeah, now for Enmet we have the Norfolk cleanup, getting Ice Beam, the final weapon, which will allow him to make his charge shot at a damage of 800. In comparison to that, Hyper Beam, the final weapon that you get from the Metroid, is only 1000, so it's a pretty powerful weapon at this point. Also, Enmet nailing here, really nice spring ball strat to the Ice Beam area. Then after Ice Beam and another missile pack, we're gonna see the runners heading to Lower Norfair, where there's really not a lot of item collection you have to do in Lower Norfair. It's actually a kind of empty area considering the size of it. Still some like minor movement optimization you can do there, and just overall the fact that you have like a mini boss, which is kind of like not relevant. You can just kind of blow him off. And there's a major boss, which can always screws you over with his RNG. Like, there's almost no way to get, like, good Ridley RNG. Enmet, again, with a really nice speedball strategy with the spring ball. Like, you can really see the potential that spring ball has on Emmet's screen right now. Like, he's using all these kind of difficult strats here, requiring spring ball. Just making the rooms look really smooth and pretty fast. And, oh man, I love this. This is insane, the spring ball strat. I love that room. But yeah, you can just see that Enmet really trained this part here of Upper Norfair, making like really quick work going to Lower Norfair here, like in no time. Is it actually 900 damage? Well, even better. Yeah, makes sense because, oh man, yeah. 800 is obviously not dividable by 3, but yeah. Again, charged ice wave plasma. Just insanely powerful, doing an incredible amount of damage. Regardless. So now KRISTOPHOLO also heading to Upper Norfair, while Enmet just entered Lower Norfair. Enmet now coming up on Gold Zone, excuse me, really soon. Where you can basically see the first time how powerful Plasma Beam really is, just by how fast Gold Teresa will fall. So let's see, KRISTOPHOLO just collecting Ice Beam. Enmet getting the hole in one. They're getting into that hole. And now we have a point where you can kind of screw up if you decide to go for kind of a little bit faster dump strats, which Enmet actually does, yeah. Space jumping across there above these crumble rocks can be kind of tricky, since sometimes you just, I want to say kind of randomly lose the space jump. And then you fall down there, gotta get all the way up again through that room. Losing about a minute every time you do that. There's a lot safer strat of doing Spilling Ball, just all the way over. Just marginally slower. And again, if you fail that and fall down there, it's like really, really unfortunate. Especially if you do that multiple times. So yeah, what Enmet is showing right now is just crouching there on a certain spot on Gold Teresa's feet. allowing you to just crouch, shoot up, and hit him twice per shot without him being able to hit you or to move out of that corner. Just making incredible quick work out of him. It's like really not a spectacular boss in 100%, and if you just generally know how to do him. Enmet again going for a really nice fast burst strat here. Now in the worst room of the game, which is like not even bad in 100% since you have screw attack, a lot of E-tanks and space jump. It's like really fun actually to go for that room. In any percent it's a lot harder. Yeah, KRISTOPHOLO time on an amazing pace, now only about 30 seconds behind his PB. Actually gold split there, if I'm not wrong. So KRISTOPHOLO cutting off more and more time with his PB here. Really good work. While Enmet is still about 1 minute and 12 seconds behind his PB. Still not to mention that Enmet is still far ahead of KRISTOPHOLO at this point. Enmet actually going for a really interesting strat that I don't have many runners going for. Like most runners will probably decide to just space jump through that room, through the giant rising acid room. Actually decided to go for a damage boost strat. Really interesting. Pretty fast. I'm not quite sure how much time it saves or loses over an optimal strat, but it was pretty interesting. So yeah, KRISTOPHOLO also getting these missiles with a spring ball method. A little bit slower, but yet again, way safer. Especially in a race, you may sometimes go for these little safety strats, losing you like a second, but then giving you the safety of not falling down there, losing a minute and looking like an idiot. Which I'm not saying that's something that cannot happen. It's happened to me in one of those races twice in a row. Yeah, shit happens. So KRISTOPHOLO again making quick work out of gold to Rezo. Not really any challenge. While Enmet going for a nice KO there into the pirate room. Going for a really cool solving strat, making this room look really fast and really easy. It is not that easy as it looks. But still really good that he got it. The timing when these ninja pirates are actually vulnerable to shots is pretty limited, so like timing it in a way that both pirates will be hurt by the same shot is pretty good. Now for Enmet, we have Ridley, the last ninja boss before Mother Brain. In 100% he's like not at all a hard boss. He's just really hard to do fast because the patterns can be kind of annoying, can be hard to optimize, you can like swooping around all the way, kind of avoiding your shots. It's just mostly he's just a slow boss, but if you're lucky, like Enmet is having really good fights so far. Getting some good patterns here. Definitely not the slowest fight here. Getting a really fast pickup and also a really fast explosion here from Ridley, so that was a pretty good fight. Again, not a hard fight, just a hard fight to do like fast and optimal and 100%. But again, you can see just how much power these players have at this point with all the supers and all the stuff they have. It's like pretty hard to die at this point actually. A soft block at this point to destroy the run is much more likely, or that the fact that runners forget an item, which also happens, but hopefully not in this run. Let's hope that the runners just have the best they can do. Now we're gonna have a little high five here. By these Skitas here. Unfortunately, I'm not naming that whole strat here out of that room. KRISTOPHOLO just collecting the so-called power bombs of shame. Not ashamed to collect them in 100% because they're obviously kind of required. KRISTOPHOLO also making a nice KO here. While Enmet is almost done with his lower Norfolk cleanup, only going for 3 more items, if I'm not mistaken. A little bit slower, way to fight these ninja pirates here than what Enmet did. Still, pretty respectable time. And again, it's pretty much going to come down to the RNG that KRISTOPHOLO has with his Ridley fight, and the way he's going to be able to influence his patterns. Apparently, KRISTOPHOLO going for a super method. So for those of you who don't know the numbers, Ridley takes either 30 supers or 20 charged shots with everything. Going for kind of a mix, which is not really a bad choice. Supers here with the higher DPS, so going for a nice base damage here. Still saving these 8 super missiles for later, because there are not really any points where you're gonna farm anymore in 100%. So you kind of want these. At this point, you already got to think about your Turian. And Turian, ideally, you have a lot of supers, not only for the Metroid rooms, where you got to prepare for like the worst drops you could possibly get, but also for Mother Brain, which is a lot faster if you have a little bit of supers at this point, and not only missiles for Mother Brain 1. So now Enmet coming up on the Franker Z missiles, named that because the room doesn't look like a Metroid, but actually like Franker Z. So if you want and be cool, you gotta post those Franker Z's in the chat. There we go, that's some Franker Z. Now Enmet leaving Low Norfair, going for the Bubble Mountain cleanup with a very nice damage boost there. There are actually some of the best hidden items in the entire game, or at least one of the items that are hardest to find in my opinion. First of all, that hidden wall. Then we have that E-tank behind there, which is kind of obvious. But then there's this missile in that single block, which is really hard to find for a casual, because you don't really expect there to be anything. It's not usually the spot that you would X-ray. It's like KRISTOPHOLO's getting the damage boost off that Firefly. Yep, pretty good stuff here. So now Enmet done with the upper, or like general Norfair cleanup. At this point, really far ahead of KRISTOPHOLO. I think he lost actually quite some time there on this split here. Kind of fortunate. So at this point, I'm gonna tell you how far both runners are apart in just a second. But before that, again, for KRISTOPHOLO, we have the Franker Z missiles. Important to mention for both runners, otherwise it's gonna give bad juju, and none of the runners wants to have bad juju. So now let's talk about the item that Enmet is just collecting, the X-ray scope. Some people, including KRISTOPHOLO, would argue that it's like the most important item for 100% because it's like the only item that can show you hidden items. But since most speedrunners 100% should know where items are without having to use X-ray, it's only like a downside. It's only like a downside item, to be honest, because the thing with X-ray is that it's like maybe considered as a major item, and it's actually one of the items that you have to select, just like missiles, supers, and so on. So you're switching over your items with item select, but unlike grapple beam, which activates with shoot, which makes perfect sense, X-ray has the annoying habit of being activated with the dash button, regardless of where you remap the dash button, which means that you cannot dash and item switch over X-ray, which means that at this point you really gotta use item cancel, which is mostly outsourced to item, or like the actual select button in the SNES, which is like kind of far away. So muscle memory at this point kind of screwed if you're not used to having X-ray at this point. Yeah. Just like Metroid dreams with all item switching and item canceling, doing that really fast can be a little bit tricky. You got to train that really well, but if you do, you should be fine. Shouldn't screw up your muscle memory too much. So now for Enmet, we have almost another nice blue wall strat. However, we have the retro bin still cleanup for the final E-tank, and then we're gonna come up on a really funny room in just a second. So up here, this is like kind of pointless because there's like only one item, right? Like there's this giant pillar there on Enmet's screen right now with that one missile. Like why would they put just one missile up here? Oh, but wait, there is more. So yeah, this, for those of you who didn't get the reference, this is so-called Billy Mace room, named after the legend Billy Mace, who was able to sell stuff like really well, always telling that there's more if they just buy now for $19.99, not including shipping. So while KRISTOPHOLO is collecting X-ray, you saw Enmet again shooting like at a seemingly random spot at the right wall there. That was another wraparound shot that he unfortunately failed, opening that left door on the room. It's like, I think it's one of 3 wraparound shots that are like kind of standard in 100%. There's a really nice visual cue for that wraparound shot actually, which requires looking at the minimap. Like as soon as the tile switches, you can just shoot and you're almost guaranteed to hit. Also, apparently KRISTOPHOLO finding the time to write in the speed gaming channel, even though he should be focusing on his run, which is kind of fortunate. Like, KRISTOPHOLO, if you don't want this run, you should at least save the animals, because, like, seriously, you gotta be a man of honor. So now let's get some quick updates on the splits of the 2 runners. For KRISTOPHOLO, he actually lost a little bit of time there in Modern Warfare, now about 44 seconds behind his PB, while Enmet actually saved some time here, now only being 56 seconds behind his PB. So far, obviously, that KRISTOPHOLO is about a little bit less than 4 minutes behind Enmet, so not really a close race anymore at this point, but still, this race is not over because they're like, first of all, it can still happen that one of the runners forgot an item, and second of all, there is still a really crucial soft block that can happen soon, which will hopefully not happen to one of the runners, of course, but just saying, we have this scene in this tournament already. Not want to count me out of that myself. I actually did some really stupid soft block myself in this tournament already. Yeah, let's just hope Enmet is smarter than I am. Now done with the criteria cleanup as well, and just on his way to G4, which is a last option to check your Tinder. According to KRISTOPHOLO's split here, last time to check Tinder. Oh, Enmet deciding to check the chat instead of Tinder. Shoutouts to Enmet. I mean, let's be honest. Twitch chat is just as good as Tinder. You find some nudes, you find some weird conversation you would have at no other point in the internet. So, well, it's pretty solid. So now for Enmet, after she's done with the waiting room. Dang, KRISTOPHOLO missing, like, wasting Shine Spark Wear on the up to the old Mother Brain room, allowing you to get through that room really quickly. Anyway, Enmet now in Turian, in the Metroid rooms. Those rooms are like one of the most technical rooms, I want to say, in the run. Because making this fast, like switching between the beam, the supers, then you have some speed keep strats, some damage boost strats, some spring ball strats. Like all that stuff is just adding up together. Like everything you've learned in the entire run, you've got to choose it just right now and chain it together like a maniac. Optimizing those rooms like in the perfect way is incredibly hard. And what Enmet does here is actually not even the fastest strats you can do, but still, the way he's playing this is insanely good already. He's playing this really good, really solid, not losing a lot of time in any of these rooms. And just showing off how skilled Enmet really is at this point is like really insane how well these Metroid rooms went. Also, interestingly enough, Enmet damaging himself down here on this blue side hopper with a strat that's basically just resetting your iframes, which is allowing you to damage yourself down a little bit faster. Doing that as kind of a well, I want to say like a kind of a security strat. As you can see, Enmet aiming here for the Metroid skip, actually nailing it, wonderful. That's gonna save him about 20 seconds. Let's see if KRISTOPHOLO gets it later on. So the thing is, you gotta damage yourself down anyways to about 700 energy at the end of Mother Brain 2. So you might as well do it now, especially since if you fail the Metroid skip, the health draining of the extra energy will cost some time. Also interesting to see, as a little fun fact, Enmet deciding here to de-equip Screw Attack to go for the method, to go for like a spin jump method for the Zap skip. We saw him actually earlier, before the run, training for a Screw Attack method where you down back for the Zap. Apparently he was not too confident about it, so deciding for a lot easier method of just doing this tiny spin jump and just flipping through the Zappetite skip. Now we have KRISTOPHOLO being able to check his Tinder the last time. Yeah, I just got a Tinder message myself, Steffi. Glad to see that KRISTOPHOLO is still able to multitask. So while KRISTOPHOLO is waiting, let's talk about Mother Brain. Mother Brain 2, pretty straightforward. You got to get 20 charge shots in. At the end, you want to be at a little bit more than 700 energy to set up for a stand-up glitch. Of course, Mother Brain not really a hard boss anymore at this point, especially with that many tanks and that power. Yeah. Let's see, yeah. Enmet, of course, making stand-up glitch really not too hard of a strat. Basically allowing damaging Mother Brain free before, like, you're actually supposed to. Now let's see how KRISTOPHOLO does these Metroid rooms. Doing it really fast here. First Metroid room went really good. Yeah. Getting those sorting for the Metroids can be a little bit tricky if you're not used to it. So KRISTOPHOLO doing an excellent job here at those Metroid rooms. Item select and item cancel really fast. There's really nothing to complain about. So yeah, now Enmet on actually already fighting Mother Brain free while she's in this kind of green state. Ideally, you want to get in this phase while she's soon going to start attacking the baby. You want to get 39 shots in and fire a final Hyper Beam shot to finish her off. You could also fire just 40 shots and finish off right away, but that's actually a little bit slower. But yeah, as many shots as you can get in right now, the better it is. So we'll see how close Enmet is here to those 39 shots. KRISTOPHOLO in the meantime setting up for the Metroid skip. Good first jump, good second jump as well. Good influence of the... jumping a little bit too low there, I think. Not being able to manipulate the baby quite enough. Also going for a kind of lagless strategy where you don't create as much lag as you could with destroying the enemy at the top. But yeah, Enmet did an excellent job with the stand-up glitch, did not soft block or create heavy lag by shooting stuff at the wrong frame. So now he's just about to do the escape. I assume both runners are going to kill the animals, and we'll probably go to hell for that because the animals are really, really cute. But as we all know, even if people like KRISTOPHOLO and Enmet decide to not save the animals, you know, the Mauer Turtle is just going to pick them up in their spaceship. Like, that's just how it works. The escape room Enmet is in right now, as we see, actually really tricky to do without Screw Attack. There are a lot of enemies, a lot of lag actually. Kind of hard to optimize. You can use some iframes there to get through it fast, but if you get pushed down like Enmet was, like, not a shame, pretty hard room to do the perfect way. But yeah, I really assume that both runners are just going to kill the animals. Oh, Enmet here with a wonderful Behemoth Spark. Shout out to him, by the way, just recently got the world record 100%. Yeah, let's see. KRISTOPHOLO now opting for Mother Brain 2. Yep, Enmet skipping the animals, so they will have to be saved by Mama Turtle. And good steam, and Enmet is stopped done with an official SRL time of 1:21:53. So actually, Enmet just improved his personal racing PB here on SRL by 27 seconds, so kind of a PB for him. At the end, he was 1 minute slower than his actual PB, but really, really solid run, getting a race PB under those circumstances. Really good job, and shoutouts to Enmet at this point. We're just gonna wait for him to hold the credits and see if he actually got 100%, which I do not doubt. They did not see him for getting any items, so should be fine. Also, KRISTOPHOLO just set up for a stand-up glitch, got it without any problems. Now, just gotta get some good execution, some good shots in, and now we're just good to go here. But yeah, improving your race PB by 30 seconds, that's huge. That's a really, really good run here. Okay. Now, KRISTOPHOLO on the weird green face of Mother Brain 3. See how well he does in the stand-up glitch. Enmet missed quite a few shots here, actually. Maybe KRISTOPHOLO does that a little bit better. And again, an ideal stand-up glitch has like 39 shots, but that's like kind of hard to get, actually. Just getting the stand-up glitch in general saves you a lot of time, not only because you're saving yourself quite a few rainbow beams, but also because Mother Brain 3 is just a lot faster. And actually getting like an optimized Mother Brain 3 without like anything, and you gotta get all those hyper beam shots in with Mother Brain's hat move, it can be kind of tricky to optimize. So yo, that was an excellent stand-up glitch here from KRISTOPHOLO, only needing 2 more shots to finishing off. Really well executed here. So yeah, now for KRISTOPHOLO as well, we just gotta wait for the escape. And we're pretty much set for this race. Yeah. Now we got Deer Forest coming up on Enmet screen. You can see the item percentage count in just a second, and just as Sephi said before, this game is just about seeing a half-naked woman as fast as possible. Yeah, KRISTOPHOLO deciding to taunt the animals. I'm assuming he's gonna taunt the animals. There's no way KRISTOPHOLO is gonna save. Yeah, he's definitely gonna taunt them. There's no way KRISTOPHOLO is gonna save the animals. Yeah, that's just what I expected. Shooting some missiles. Oh, baby. Oh yeah, I love that. Oh gosh, yeah. Okay, KRISTOPHOLO just officially won that race. Like seriously, KRISTOPHOLO, you are my hero. You are my hero, KRISTOPHOLO. Animals are saved. KRISTOPHOLO. Oh, sorry. With all the stress, I forgot that Enmet actually got 100%. Apparently, that animal save was for me. So yeah, sorry. GG for Enmet for actually winning the race, and GG to KRISTOPHOLO for winning our hearts by doing the right thing and saving those horribly adorable animals. I'm a happy man right now. I'm a really happy man. So yeah, about KRISTOPHOLO, officially done with an official SRL time of 1:26 and 11 seconds, being a little bit about a little less than 5 minutes behind his opponent. Again, KRISTOPHOLO actually got the 100%. Enmet got like 99.9%, so it doesn't really count. All right, so where we have the credits roll on KRISTOPHOLO's screen, who, by the way, was about 1 minute and 35 seconds behind his PB on this run. Yo, let's talk about this tournament, because the round robin stage is over as far as I can tell that. There are no more races. Let's see. So we just finished Group Shack Tool. Enmet by defeating KRISTOPHOLO, being undefeated in his group with 4 victories, 0 losses. Total will be second, with 3 victories and 1 loss. KRISTOPHOLO, unfortunately, by losing this race, will be kicked out of round robin and will not succeed into the single elimination mode of this tournament. So yeah, let's see. We had I think that was it. I think this was actually the last race. I know there's one more race going on right now on I think it's on, maybe it's on Speedruns Live? I don't know. Anyways, Oats and Goats and Jack879 are just racing. Yeah, that was pretty much one of the last races of the round robin, so the most hectic part and, in my opinion, one of the most funny parts of this tournament is over. We're gonna make a big break here from this tournament because of GDQ, where there's gonna be a big 100% race at the final. So if you like 100%, you should definitely check that out, because they're gonna be the best of the best racing 100% for charity. So make sure to check out that race on GDQ. Okay, so apparently there's one more race going on round robin, but that's gonna be the last then, so pretty much done. Again, GDQ is coming up, and after that we're gonna continue this tournament with the single elimination modes. I just told you there are 2 runners per group succeeding into single elimination, and since we have 12 groups, I think, 13 groups, there are going to be 26 of the best runners in Super Metroid, so make sure to check that out. Also, I want a really big animal force for my friend KRISTOPHOLO, saving the animals like a real man. Yeah, he did some really good job on that race, making wise decisions. And now we're just gonna see 100% in just a second. Yep, there it is. 100% for KRISTOPHOLO. GG, and an incredible run. Um, so yeah, again, that was one of the last races of round robin. Make sure to check out the single eliminations after GDQ, and make sure to check out GDQ for the 100% race of the best of the best. Yeah, that was it. My name's Pong, and I wish all of you wonderful Christmas, happy holidays, happy New Year, and I hope you enjoyed the race.